missing that episode that I missed.
Yeah.
But the other side of it was like, it was kind of fun to like listen to it back because I had no idea what to expect.
Right. I don't know if we said it on the episode because I don't remember, but I remember saying to Murdock, like, wouldn't it be funny if we did 2 episodes tonight and then we record one with Kurt, don't tell him we already have one in the can, and then there's another one like with us without him, and he's just like, wait, what is going on? I can't remember if we said that or not, but I thought that would have been funny.
I mean, you have like the title and everything of the next one that somehow like loops into it. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That's what we talked about. And I'm like,
exactly.
What the fuck's this? I don't remember any of this.
Oh man, yeah, that would have been so funny.
It would have been terrible. I would have thought I was going insane.
Yeah, that would have been like the payoff. Like, wait a minute, you uploaded the same episode, and I was telling him, I was like, I said to him, it would have been funny. I think this was after the fact. I said it would have been funny if we did that, and then we started the episode off like the same exact like 3 minutes, or we just put like the same 3 minutes in there and then cut into like a totally different episode, which would have been just hilarious.
I would have been so confused.
Oh man, yeah.
And then I'd be gone for the next episode. I'd be like, yeah, I went and I checked myself into a mental rehab clinic.
Be like, damn it, we screwed ourselves over. Oh man.
I assume we're recording or no?
Yeah, I always hit record like early.
Oh, good. Good.
But
I don't know. I like the hot opens, cold opens.
Yeah, it's like I just kind of take whatever's funny to me and just start it with that. Like usually it's something like out of context at first, and then we make context of it, and it's hilarious.
I was thinking, and this is like a peek behind the curtains, I guess, since we're already recording. But I was thinking the other day, I was like, that might be like a way to segue into it, since we always have like the quote unquote like cold, hot open, whatever we want to call it. Like we always have those hot openings. Like it should be that's how the podcast starts. Then it transitions into the theme.
Yeah.
And then it's like the podcast.
Right. I think we
very
gotta finesse
like
that
sitcom.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. Hey, so Alan Wake 2 came out, right?
Did.
How is it?
Did you play Alan Wake 1?
So I vaguely remember it. Like I remember because it was very Stephen King-esque, like when it was coming out is kind of how they built it up. And I remember playing a little bit of it. I know I didn't finish it. But the flashlight is what like kills people. Like that's like your weapon, right?
It kind of. So if you think of enemies having an armor bar, so they're like shrouded in darkness.
Gotcha.
You use the flashlight to break away the darkness, then you can hurt them with like a gun or whatever.
Gotcha. Okay.
But like later on in the game, you get like a flare gun that if you shoot it, it just destroys them entirely.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's but I guess to answer the question, it's really good. I just finished chapter 1, which is just the like intro prologue. Graphics are amazing. Yeah, if you're a fan of the original Alan Wake, it is a lot more survival horror. Like you played the Resident Evil 4 remake, right?
Of course.
So very similar to that. So like you have an inventory management. Like when you pick stuff up, it goes into like little boxes. You can unlock keys to get shortcuts. But you don't play as Alan Wake in the beginning.
Oh, weird.
So yeah, you play as a FBI detective, which honestly is a really cool thing because like I like crime stuff, but it's like you find pieces of a crime scene, and without spoiling too much, like you actually pin it to a wall. It unlocks like more dialogue options.
Oh, that's cool.
And like to further the story, and like my assumption is you can miss stuff,
right?
And so there's certain stuff that you won't understand, but like you can profile people, and like if you have all the clues, like I was able to ask someone a question and I knew they were lying based off of evidence that I found.
That's neat.
It's really good.
I might have to get that, man. I might have to get that.
I would play through the first one first.
So I actually almost bought the first one last night because it was on sale on the Switch eShop for like $15, and I was like, oh man, that might be like a good way for me to consume it.
Yeah, maybe for you. Yeah, because I know that you're a big Switch boy.
Dude, I loved my Switch. It's so awesome. But when
you miss out on the graphics though. That's what sucks.
True. Because it is a remaster, so it would have like better graphics.
It doesn't look much better than the original, but I will say that, like, if I had to, I mean, Ocarina of Time's like up there. That will
Yeah.
always hold a special place in my heart. But for a single player narrative game, as someone who doesn't consume horror or anything like that, it is higher than Red Dead 2 for me, and that's up
Wow,
there.
that is up there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
You're
yeah, I
really
just like the
hyping this
story a
up.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're gonna play it and be like, "This is dog shit. Why are you hyping this up
I
so
don't know.
much to me?"
I remember enjoying it. I just didn't get into it. Like I'll start playing games and then I get sidetracked with other games and that happens.
Yeah, it was me with Spider-Man 2.
Oh, I love Spider-Man 2. I play that, but I don't play the story. I end up just going around the city and like just doing stuff and like I'm like, "Oh, there's an icon. Ooh, there's an icon. Let me do this. Let me do that." And then I'm like, I
Oh,
haven't
so
done
you
any
haven't
of it.
gotten far in the story at all?
I've gotten decently far. Like, did you do like the amusement park?
Yes.
just
I'm like one mission after that.
Okay, so we're pretty close. I just finished the amusement park, and that was insane. It was awesome.
Yep.
Everything is paced so well in that game, like all the fights and everything is just so sick.
Did you do all the rides to get the special hat?
Yeah,
Okay,
I did.
cool.
Yeah,
I did it
the
too because I
glowing
thought I'd get
hat.
a trophy, and you don't get anything
That's
for
exactly why I did it. I was like, I'm gonna get a trophy for this. Oh
it. But
man,
I picked the cowboy hat and the sunglasses.
yeah. Okay, so when you were talking about Alan Wake and you were talking about like the FBI agent and solving the crime and that kind of thing, it made me think about this game Indigo Prophecy. Did you ever play that?
I did not, but I remember oh, what game magazine was it? Electronic Gaming Monthly? That
Possibly. It
might
was
have been
around that
it. Or
time.
Tips and Tricks. I remember reading about it and I remember always going like, this looks like an amazing game. But I did it come out on like the GameCube?
Uh, Good question.
Like
I played
way
it.
later, I think.
I think
Because I think it
it's
only came out on
possible.
Xbox and PlayStation or something like that. And I didn't have one of those at the time.
Yeah, it was.
And I remember being like, I'm never going to be able to play this game.
Yeah, I think it was PS2 originally, and then it came
Yeah.
out on Xbox 360. And it may have came out on GameCube as well. Now it's on like I think everything.
Oh, probably.
But that game has like a scene kind of in the opening where like you commit this crime, but then you're like covering it up and cleaning it up, but then you play as the detective that's then investigating that crime scene. So it's like
Oh,
it's really like it's interesting and the game progresses from there. It's by the same guys that did like Heavy Rain, that kind of thing. Heavy Rain was tremendous.
I was just about to say it sounds very Heavy Rain.
Yes, yes. I think a lot of the ideas from that translated directly to Heavy Rain, which is cool. So if you listeners have played Heavy Rain, check out Indigo Prophecy. It had a different name.
Jason.
Yeah, it had a different name somewhere else though. I feel like Fahrenheit
Did
is what
it?
it was called. Yeah, Fahrenheit is what it was called. I don't know if it was just called that like outside of the US or whatever, but yeah, that we had a different name.
Speaking of obscure games, because it made me think of it when you were talking about like Indigo Prophecy. There was a game that I always wanted to play, and I don't think I had the console. It was like Geist. You were like a spirit, and you could possess like anybody.
Oh man, I vaguely remember this.
And again, I remember like reading about it in a magazine because that's how I consumed video games when I was a kid. Like if I didn't have I'll go into another segue with that, but like I would just read about games that I either didn't have the console for or like we weren't super rich growing up. So like I wasn't like able to buy a game all the time. It was usually birthdays or like Christmas time or something like that. My parents did good of like if I wanted something to get it, but like I remember that game sticking out to me because I love the concept of you're a ghost. You can take over anybody and like you could take over like a military guy and you can go in guns blazing, or you can like take over like a doctor that's going to open something. Then you'll take over like a patient to get to a nurse to get to the next room. It's very like Hitman. And I always thought that was the coolest premise.
I'm going to have to check this. What system was it on?
I'm going to look it up.
Hit the Googles. Because
I think it was GameCube.
it sounds so
It is
interesting.
GameCube.
Okay, I bet I played this. I'm pretty sure it was like a rent it from Blockbuster situation, but I recall like doing that stuff.
I mean, let's see. I'm trying to pull it up. Oh, thanks for 404ing IGN.
Oh
Thanks for letting me down
man.
when I need you.
Oh man. Did
Goes
you
for a lot on eBay.
I bet a lot of GameCube games do. Did you ever play Eternal Darkness on the GameCube?
Is
That
that the
is
one that has like the person that looks like Link on the front, but it's not?
no.
Am I thinking of
It's
a different game?
I think so, yeah. Because this is like a horror kind of game.
Oh,
You're this girl whose grandfather, I believe, they found like him dead in his like mansion, and like you're going through all the stuff, and like you're reading this book, and you're going through all these different periods of time, and you're playing as all these different characters to there's like this overarching like demon that's taking over the whole thing, and it's interesting. I loved the game, but the game would like mess with you. You had like a crazy meter essentially, or insanity meter is what they called it, and as that filled up, the game would like mess with you. So when you saw like bad
yep.
guys, it would go blue and like delete your save. Like it didn't really delete your save, but it made you think it was deleting your save. It was crazy.
They did a lot of stuff like that. Like what which Metal Gear was it that had Psycho Mantis in it? I don't know if you ever played any of those.
Yeah, he read like your memory card. I think
Yeah, it was like, oh, I see you like
I think it was
Pac-Man or
2.
whatever.
I think it was 2. I don't
And like you
remember.
had to unplug it and put it into like the fourth port or something like that. So that way
Right.
it can't read your controller movements. Like people were ahead of their times
Yeah.
with games back then. And now they're,
Lazy.
I mean, they're still good, but yeah,
Better
there's
do
no
stuff like
like,
that.
there's no gimmicks
Yeah.
anymore. Like you just get games and like, again, we've talked about this, but like it's the nostalgia era. Like it's remasters, remakes
Yep.
of everyone's childhood favorites coming back, which is cool. Like I'm all for that, but give me something innovative.
Yeah. Have you played the new Super Mario? Super Mario Wonder?
I have not. I'll be honest with you, huge Mario fan. Sucks they got rid of Charles Martinet. Yeah, I think
I
that's
think that's
his
how you
name.
pronounce his name, yeah.
I always used to call him Marionette, and I was like, he's not a puppet. Puppet Mario, that's the new game.
Puppet Mario.
You heard it here first. But I watched one video and it was the guy like hitting one of the things that go, I don't know the premise of the game, but like where everything goes into a musical and like the piranha plants are singing.
That's one of my favorite levels so far. It's so
And
funny.
I was like, what is this?
Yes. I was
It's like
laughing.
an acid trip.
Yeah, it's one of the early levels. I was laughing hysterically. I was like, I love this. And like I was playing with like my wife and kids, and they were like looking at me like I had 3 heads. I was like, this is great. This is tremendous. The piranha plants are all singing, but they're trying to kill you at the same time. Like it's awesome. But yeah, I think it's cool. It's a new twist on things because you kind of have like it's the Uno flip of Mario. You know,
Okay.
you have like a thing that you can grab, and then it kind of flips the world, and you have like a different like objective to close that out and then exit the world, but you can miss that whole thing entirely. So it's neat. I really enjoy it. We're not super far into it, but it's a lot of fun.
So I guess my question is like, so those things that you can hit and like flips the world, like, do you miss part of the game by not collecting those?
So yes and no. So very similar to I think it was Super Mario 3D World, where you had to collect a certain number of things to like open up castles and open up
Yeah.
different access to different worlds. You have to have they're called wonder seeds. You have to have a certain amount of them to like open up different things. So like we got to the point towards the end of Super Mario 3D World where like there were extra levels that we could unlock, but we had to go back and like get extra whatever it was, the stars or the red coins or whatever it was to do that.
Yeah.
So like at the end of each level you get a wonder seed, but there's usually like an extra wonder seed kicking around somewhere that you can uncover.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I was debating picking that up, and then the place I was going to buy it from ended their buy two get one, so I didn't.
Yes, I got in on the buy two get one, and I got that and Mario RPG and Kirby's Dream Land Deluxe. Yeah.
I've never played a Kirby game in my entire life.
You know, I played one Kirby game. It was actually kind of a funny story. We're a video game podcast today. This is great. So there was this mini game. It was like a samurai fight thing, and you'd pick, your character, and then it would go like, 3, 2, 1. It'd make like this kind of like clapping noise. And as soon as it made the clapping noise, the first person to hit the button would get the strike. But like my brother didn't understand that was like the concept of it. He just like would hit, he didn't understand that the sound was it. He was like looking visually for like when the character started to like move. So I was whooping his ass and he was getting so mad about it. My brother's super competitive. And I said, look, okay, here's the thing. And I forget, like there was some toy or something that I wanted of his. So I said, look, if I beat you this time, you have to give me that. And he goes, no, not doing that. Okay, how about I turn around and I won't even look at the screen? Because I knew he did not know how it was done. And he was like, yeah. And boom, killed him. He was like, what? What? And then I kept killing him and it took him a while and then he figured it out. He was like, oh, it's the sound. And then like it became competitive. But it was just a mini game in a Kirby game. And that mini game's actually in this one, so I thought that was kind of fun to have. But
that's really cool.
Yeah, like I was doing the buy two get one, and I was like, okay, Super Mario Wonder, Mario RPG, because I didn't know how long this deal was gonna last, and I couldn't think of like the third one, so it was either like AEW Fight Forever, which I already had on like PlayStation, and I didn't really like it that much, so I didn't want to have like 2 copies of it for a different system, and then I was just like kicking around like what game could I possibly get my kids to play with me? And we landed on Kirby, and they played it once with me. They didn't really like it, but it's fine.
Kirby's great though. Like I like the character, and I take it back. I technically played a Kirby game. I played Kirby Air Ride.
Which one was that one?
That's like the racing one.
Oh, was that on N64? Why do I think that's
GameCube? And you could like collect different parts, and it created like a super speeder because you would race on like the stars.
Oh yeah.
And I just remember like I used to play that all the time, like back when stores had like the kiosks where you could play demos of games, and you get a stiff neck from staring at them, but you wouldn't because you're like 6.
I remember
playing that demo over and over. Oh, me too, 100%.
Like I remember playing like in Walmart, because like they used to have the kiosks there, but the controller's like hugged up against the wall and you're looking like straight up at it, like trying to play. And we'd play the demos there all the time. Used to love that.
Yeah. None of that exists anymore. Well, I guess technically it does. Like I've seen displays for Switches.
Yeah, like I think Nintendo still like puts those in stores, but
no other company does. Like you don't see like a Xbox or a PlayStation like locked up. No, like play our games.
Yeah, I feel like the last time I saw it was, I want to say Xbox 360 had like a kiosk.
Maybe when it first came out.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
But then after
that's crazy.
So long ago. I guess like some places when Guitar Hero was like really big had that set up for people to like play. Because there was one of those
Guitar Hero's coming back?
I heard it. Is it official though?
I don't think it's official. See, it's a rumor, but it sounds like they want to come back.
I don't want to get my hopes up because I loved those games. And I envision, now that I have, a family, I envision all of us just hanging out in the living room, playing instruments, playing Rock Band. Like I just would love for those days. I'm so mad that I got rid of all that stuff. So mad.
Oh yeah. I loved it. Like Rock Band when that first came out. I remember my next door neighbor, like we made a whole like night out of it because we're like, we're gonna do the endless set list, which is where you play from every single without a break.
Yep.
Because you get like an achievement. Because I was playing on I was playing on Xbox, and I was like, we got to get this achievement. I remember we prepped so hard, and like you can't fail a song and you can't pause or anything like that. And we got to like the last 4 or 5 songs, and I lost power.
Oh no. Yeah, we got so we did that. My buddy, his basement, he had like a bar down in the basement, and he had a projector screen. So it was like this big giant screen, and there was a bunch of us there. And we're playing, and I don't drink or anything. So as people are progressively getting more drunk, I'm like taking over their instruments so that we pass the song. and like we're just giving people the microphone that are like the most drunk. It was hilarious. And we got to whatever the Mastodon song was. It was like the third to last song, I think, and we could not clear it. And we played for like probably 6 hours straight, but it was a fun night. Rock Band was so fun. We used to have Rock Band parties at the house. I don't know how I didn't get like evicted from my apartment for noise. Like, no one ever complained. I'm like, everyone in this apartment complex must be like a drug dealer or something because no one calls the cops on how loud my stuff is.
They're all just chilling, listening to the music. Like, yeah, I can get behind that.
Well, the thing is like we worked retail, right? So like our hours were wild. So we'd be doing this on like a Wednesday night because we're like, yeah, and we don't have to go into 1 o'clock tomorrow, or maybe we have Thursday off. So let's just play Rock Band until 2 or 3 in the morning and then call it a night. It was never on like a Friday or Saturday night. Who does that when they work retail? Right. But man, yeah. There was only one time my neighbor came over and was like, "Can you just turn the subwoofer down just a little bit? Like my kids are trying to sleep and they're sick." And I was like, "Oh, didn't even know you had kids." But yeah, we'll do that. So we turned the subwoofer down because all they could hear was like the bass. I was like, all right, if that's all you can hear, then these walls are built pretty well.
I guess. I remember I bought Guitar Hero Live when that came out because I was like, oh, this is a cool concept. And it's like the buttons are in different places. I didn't care for it.
Yeah, I had this dream of like Rock Band teaching me how to play the guitar. I had gotten for Christmas the guitar that had the buttons on each like fret. It was like the pro guitar, so it had like individual strings, and you were actually like playing, real chords. In button form still, but it felt more real than the plastic buttons. And I gave up on that real quick. I was like, this isn't even fun, man. I'm giving up. But it was interesting because like I was playing and I remember whatever Stone Temple Pilots song was on that. I'm playing it, and then my roommate had guitars. So then I'm like, well, let me see if this is the real chord. So I'm like playing the same like fingering that it had on there. I'm like, this sounds like the song. This is so cool. But then I was just like, this is hard. I give up.
Yeah.
I wasn't mentally prepared.
Did you ever play Rocksmith?
No, but I've thought about getting it because now I have a guitar that I don't really know how to play, and I just do like YouTube tutorials when I'm bored. And I thought about doing Rocksmith with that. Because you can get it on like anything, and it just uses microphones, so it's pretty simple to set up. But I thought about
highly recommend.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I put so much because like obviously like Rock Band Guitar Hero died, and so I got Rocksmith because I was like, okay, I can play a few things on guitar, and it makes you feel better than you are.
Ooh,
because like if you pick any song, it automatically like, because like the electric guitar I have, obviously like you're strumming it, you don't hear anything, but if you wear like headphones, it automatically gives you like the amp and all like the pedals that you need. So
sick.
It's tuned like the guitar in the song.
Yeah.
So you can take that preset, go into like a jam mode, and you can just play around with the preset, and it will automatically like add in drums and like a bass guitar based off of like how you're playing in the tempo you want. It's really cool.
Oh man, I might be sold. I might be sold now. Man, you know what else is going on though? We're deep into tax season right now. Did you know this? I was just thinking.
Tax season?
Yeah.
What?
October 31st is Dad Tax Day, officially. Because all the kids get their candy, and Dad's got to take their tax. So if you're a dad and you're listening to this, don't forget, October 31st is not just Halloween, but it is Dad Tax Day. Or maybe November 1st is Dad Tax Day. But
you gave me a heart attack because I was like, I haven't started my taxes.
No, the dad tax. So we did a trunk or treat Saturday night for my wife. My wife's work did like a thing, and I helped out, and they did like a Mario theme. So I was Donkey Kong.
Fitting.
Yeah, I was Donkey Kong, and I rode around on that adult big wheel that I bought.
Is there a picture?
There's I don't have one actually. My wife does. And there's guy, I'm
Uh.
sure like everyone wanted their picture with me, but I would just randomly just go and just do a lap around the whole thing. And people were like, that's Donkey Kong. And then I was like handing bananas out to kids. It was hilarious. It was so funny. But yeah, they ended up winning. They won first place too, which was great. I feel like I had a tiny part of that, but they had such a great setup. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, so we had a bunch of candy, and so I, got to take the dad tax.
But what do you, I guess, what's your tax rate? Like, is it for every like 3 Reese's they get, you get like a Milky Way, or how does that work?
It's very much like the government. I just kind of decide.
It's just a random number you come up with. You're like, I think this is about right.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, these are mine.
That is very way to teach politics to your children. And you're like, welcome to the real world.
Right? Well, the kids one time said, Dad, the dad tax isn't a real thing. So, of course, I had to hit up my pal Siri and ask. And, of course, oh, wait, I don't want to activate it. Of course, that specific AI-generated person said that the dad tax was, here's all the information on the dad tax, and brought me to like the Wikipedia page. And I'm like, my kids don't know that anybody can edit Wikipedia. So they were just like, oh, it's real. Yep, it is, baby. Give me that candy.
Next thing you know, like your kids are going to be outside with signs that say like no taxation without representation and like throwing all the candy in like a pool or something.
Right? Oh, man. That'll be hilarious.
How history repeats itself.
You know what's funny? We didn't even really talk about that Murdock's not here. But he's not here. He's off doing superhero things.
I just figured if we don't talk about it, it's like he's here.
I know, like we didn't really, you acknowledged that I'd hit record and then we just kind of started talking. But yeah, Murdock's not here this week. So it's just the Obro and Kurt show, which is great. I'm Owen Brody and this is Kurt, by the way.
Hello. Welcome to episode 22.
We're like almost a half hour in and we're like, yeah, by the way, here's the episode. Yeah, if you're listening, thanks for listening to episode 22. It's a little song by Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer. Whoa, we're halfway there, halfway through the episode and we start telling you about it.
Welcome to the podcast where the intro to the episode's halfway through listening.
Yeah, sometimes, I feel like this is probably the latest intro that we've done. I feel like we've probably had an episode where we didn't do an intro. I feel like we always talk about the episode number early, though. Like, we're always like, oh, this is episode 19-ish, 20-ish, what? Because I never can remember. But it's definitely 22.
Oh, I can tell you for a fact this is 22.
Yeah,
it's my favorite number.
Is it?
Not that you can see it.
Oh, I can see it.
22.
I can see it. Wow. I don't know if I have a favorite number. Like, that's interesting.
Well, I guess it's my lucky number.
Ooh, what makes it lucky? What did you strike on for 22?
Nothing. Just was my lucky number.
Just feels it.
I was born on the 22nd, and I was just like, that's mine now.
I feel like people do that, right? Like the 13th, like I was born on the 13th.
That's not very lucky.
I know, but it was a Monday. It was Monday the 13th. It was okay. But I was born on the 13th, and then of course my youngest was born on the 13th. My oldest was born on a Monday, but she was the 12th. But so I thought that was kind of cool. But and my dog born on the 13th. So yeah, it's crazy.
That's wild,
isn't it?
That's too weird.
Yeah, so I guess 13's my lucky number. I don't know what that says about what I got coming to me, but
and you share a birthday with your daughter, right?
Yeah, born on the same day, quite a few years apart, of course.
Yeah, no, you guys are actually twins.
Yeah, we're birthday buddies, and whenever she gets mad at me, she tells me, "You're not my birthday buddy anymore." And I say, "Well, you know what? You can't change that, kid."
That's crazy. So, like, your genetics are really strong.
Yeah, I guess so, right? Oh, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad that we didn't acknowledge Adam not being here.
We didn't. It's funny. That's okay though.
Imagine we went the entire episode.
Yeah, and then at the end we're
you
like,
guys didn't even say I wasn't here. We just superimpose his voice at the end. It's just like, thanks for talking to me, guys.
oh man, you know what was funny too? Because like I was saying earlier, about messing with him, like we were thinking about doing with you. I was gonna put a green screen behind me, and I was gonna put his room behind me, because there's been a couple times where he's like gotten up to go get a drink, and I have like just the video of his room. So I'm like, that would be so funny if we both had green screens and we just did that. Because he would only notice it if he watched the YouTube one. Like, it would just be priceless.
That would be good.
It would be pretty awesome. Although I do have like video footage of his chair being empty because he's gotten up and left the room. So we could have just put that in the box and just left it there the whole time. When's Murdock coming back? He said he had to go to the bathroom. This is a 30-minute poop.
Yeah, it's just like him getting up in the very beginning and walking away, and then it's just paused in that frame. We're like, all right, everybody, thanks for listening. And then he comes back and sits down and it ends.
Oh, man, how come we didn't have that thought off air? That would have been great. Oh, man.
The creative juices weren't flowing.
They weren't.
Gross.
They weren't, Sometimes we got to just get into it. A lot of people know, we don't really plan a lot of the stuff on this podcast. We just sit down and we hit record and we go, hey guys, what's up? Every now and then we have a plan. Like last week we had a plan. Like we were going to play a card game. We didn't plan on like the first card being Helen Keller with laser eyes.
I listened to that in my car on the way back from work, and it still made me laugh.
It was so perfect. I couldn't have planned it any better. If I'd gone through and tried to find like the two perfect cards, I don't think I would have even come up with that. But oh man, did it crack me up. That game's a lot of fun. We should definitely play that again soon, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so Adam's away doing superhero stuff. The Hulk called. He needed his hands back for the weekend, so he was unable to attend this because he doesn't have a hand to use the mouse that wasn't working for him last week. So
That's right. And he told me personally that he doesn't trust the Hulk, so he's not going to just lend the hands and come back. He needs to, supervise the hands at all times, which I don't blame him. Those are expensive hands.
yeah, he's like actually like, those baby papooses. He's actually strapped to the back of the Hulk as his baby just to make sure. Yep. So like he's the hands and then the Hulk's the rest of himself.
Exactly. What a multiverse we're building here. Speaking of multiverse, have you watched the new South Park movie? They say movie, but it's like 48 minutes, so I don't really classify it as a movie. It's like a long episode.
I mean, it's like a short movie, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
That's really more of a long episode than it is a short movie.
Yeah.
It's like a special. No, I haven't.
It's very good. It's on Paramount Plus. You should definitely check it out. It's super funny, but they kind of make fun of like the multiverse and like all that stuff. But it's hilarious.
Have you been watching Loki at all?
No, I haven't. So I got to catch up on all that stuff. I really do, because I still have to watch Ahsoka.
Me too.
I watched like the first 3 episodes, I think, because I was trying to catch it weekly, and then I kind of fell behind, and then I was like, I'm just gonna wait till they're all done. But then I got bored one night and was like, I'll watch episode or 2, and I watched the 2nd and 3rd episode, and here I am.
I've noticed with the Star Wars content coming out, like it is best watched either weekly or all at once. Like if you start weekly and then you miss an episode and then the next one comes out, you're better off just waiting until it all comes out, because then you miss kind of the allure to it.
Right.
I don't remember, was it the most recent? I think it was the most recent season of The Mandalorian. That was perfect to watch week to week because it was always a cliffhanger at the end of each episode.
Exactly. Yeah, and that was the thing too, is like I looked forward to that I think it was Friday or Wednesday. I forget what day it was this time around, but every week I was like, okay, new Mandalorian episode. Stay off the internet all day and just go home and watch it and like enjoy it, because it was just it captured me. And I don't think any TV show in recent history has really captured me like The Mandalorian has. Like, you know, something that's running currently. Because I remember like when we started watching Game of Thrones, like we couldn't put it down. We kept watching, but we were so far behind. We kept watching until we caught up to current episodes, and then we watched weekly
Never
for the
seen
most
it.
part. I feel like you said this once before, and we were like, "What?" Very good.
I need to.
It's you have to carve out some time because the first I would say like 3 episodes, like I would plan to watch the first 3 episodes like in a row because like
Wouldn't that be like 3 hours?
yeah, pretty much because like I felt like I didn't even know who anybody was. Like it's just it takes a while to kind of get your feet wet into who is who, you know.
Yeah. But I also feel like when we talk about like watching stuff back to back, like Book of Boba Fett,
Yeah,
I feel like that's better off watching as one continuous,
I would
like
agree.
when everything's out. Because I remember watching, like, I watched the first episode, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. I can't wait for the next. Then, like, 2 and 3, I was like, it's not worth really waiting for the next.
Yeah, the middle of that show is kind of it's slow, but like there's important pieces to it. And then a lot of that pays off at the end. So watching that one in bulk is definitely I would recommend as well.
Yeah, I felt like a lot of filler content in there, like just to like it gave plot obviously,
Yeah.
but like I felt like there's other ways they could have pushed the plot along that way.
It was a lot of like I kind of put it to like a chess game. There's a lot of pieces moving, but nothing's being like taken yet, and everything's being set up. And then that final like rush of like now there's just pieces being taken and pieces being taken and things being moved, and like that was kind of like the last couple episodes. There's a lot of movement on the board. It's not just a
Yeah.
bunch of like careful setting up, you know. So it was good though. I enjoyed it, but it didn't capture me like The Mandalorian has.
Did you watch The Last of Us?
No, that's on my list, but that's another one that I feel like once I start it, I'm not gonna wanna stop watching it. Just gonna watch it each watch it
That's
all at
definitely
once.
something that if you have the self-constraint, watch an episode, wait a few days because the payoff is way better that way.
Oh, really? See, I have like
Yeah.
this COVID list of like if I catch COVID again, this is what I'm gonna watch. So, and that's on my COVID list. So I'll be sitting there late at night and I'm like scrolling through it. I'm like, do I want to watch this? It's on my COVID list to binge if I'm like home in bed for a week.
It's really sad that you have to have a
I
list
know, right?
of like, I expect to get COVID again. So when I'm sick, here's what I'm
Oh
gonna
man.
watch.
Yeah, I know. I hope I don't catch it again. Although when I had it, it wasn't that bad.
Hey, I made it this long without getting it. So.
Oh, lucky you. I thought that my whole family got it like not that long ago because we were all pretty sick, but there was no one tested positive, so it was like all right, something else. But that wasn't too bad. I mean, I went to work every day. I just wasn't feeling great.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah.
mean, that's like when we recorded the last episode, I was very under the weather.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were.
It wasn't COVID. It was literally like I came back from like a meeting for work and I was like, man, I kind of feel poopy. And then the next day I woke up and I was like, wow, I feel like I got hit by a bus.
Awful.
And then like the day after again, I was like, okay, I feel a little better. And then when we recorded, I actually had some energy back. And then after that, it just went away. So I was like, a 3-day cold, I'll take that any day.
Yep. Me too.
Emergency.
Yeah, dude,
Swear
that's
by
the
it.
stuff, man. That is the stuff.
So I know we asked for questions.
Yes,
from the
I was
audience.
just about to bring that up. Yes, so we did. This was a while back. We asked for questions from the audience, and we've had some rolling in on DamnThatsYouTube. And we got some to spill out. So let's see. I sent you a few of them, and
Yes, let me pull that up.
I got it pulled up here too. I'll let you go first, Kurt.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got They didn't say who it was from. It's just a period. So, hello, period. This isn't really helpful, but it's a question for Adam, who's not here. But I think we could probably answer it as him. We know him well enough, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So it says, Murdock, if you were a tree, what tree would you be?
Ooh, what tree would Murdock be? Is Murdock a big maple syrup guy?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
We literally just said, yeah, we know him well enough. Is he a maple syrup guy?
But I mean, like if he wanted to be, if he was a maple tree because of maple syrup, isn't that kind of like drinking your own pee?
I mean, that's kind of fitting, right? The Bear Grylls of trees.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I would say he would be like either a maple tree or like a big, like, what is it? The redwood trees? Is that the
redwood? The big trees?
Yeah, for sure.
See, but I feel like if he was here, he'd be like, I wouldn't be any of those. I'd be the Whomping Willow from Harry Potter.
Oh, good call. I should have been like, are there any Harry Potter trees? I go with Whomping Willow.
Yeah. Definitely. That'd be my guess.
All right, so let me
Sorry you didn't get an answer for that.
That's okay. Let me open this one up. Let's see. Okay, this one, I didn't write down any of the names. Hey guys, I love what you're doing, especially Murdock. But what I really want to know is, does Murdock play any instruments? If not, what would you play if you did? Okay, well, another one for Murdock. What would Murdock play for an instrument? I feel like he would be like the guy in the parade that has the big like bass drum that just boom, just hits it.
The boom, boom.
I feel like that'd be him.
The sad part is like when you were reading that and I heard instrument, I was like, huh. And then the first instrument that came into my mind was a bassoon.
I was thinking like
I can't even picture it.
That's too funny. Oh,
I
man.
know that him just walking around with a bassoon would be crazy. I think it would be the drum.
Yeah.
It's got to, or like he would have like a gong around his neck.
Yeah.
Bong.
That would be, or like the cymbals clashing together. Like I just feel like he'd be like
the monkey.
Yeah, he'd be like an exclamation point guy. Like, you know, he'd just make like one big noise and not like, you know, lead guitar or anything like that. Well, yeah, man, that's funny. Yeah, like I'm opening these up and it's kind of like that. I don't know if you ever use that like NGL thing where like you just have a little envelope and just click it open. Like I just have them in my email, so I'm just opening them. But I'm not giving out anybody's email address because they probably don't want that. But you got another one over there?
Let me see. This one literally just says, "Hi, Murdock. Fix the neck on your shirts." So,
okay. So, is there like a kit? Can you?
That wasn't a question.
So, okay. So, do they? I'm thinking like late night TV. There's got to be some sort of contraption that like fixes the neck on your shirts, like that you put it in after the wash or something. There's got to be something like that, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know where this idea comes from. Didn't people used to stretch out the necks of shirts by using like watermelons?
No, I've never heard of
Am
that.
I going insane?
That sounds like the opposite of what we want to do.
It is. So what you have to do is you cut a watermelon in half.
Right. And then you try to constrict the neck around the watermelon somehow. So
that wasn't a question, but that was thanks
man.
for apparently only being interested in Adam.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, let's see. Open this one up here. Got one here for Murdock. Favorite Dr. Seuss book? I feel like Murdock's a big Horton Hears a Who guy.
Oh, I was gonna say he's big green eggs and ham.
Oh yeah, but well, what about the Grinch though? Is he like the Grinch? I feel like he likes Christmas too much to be the Grinch.
I mean, let's be fair. The Grinch loved Christmas. He hated people.
Ooh, true. But green eggs and
So
ham.
that might be fitting.
Green eggs and ham. I feel like
The Grinch eggs and ham.
Grinch eggs and ham. Yeah. Let's mix it up. It's got to be between those two, I think. It's definitely not redfish, bluefish.
No.
No way.
No.
No
And
way.
it's not the Cat in the Hat.
No. I would say green eggs and ham if I had to guess. I would say that. Let's see. Let's open up another one here. Hey guys, love the show. What is happening? If Murdock was a character on Sesame Street, which one would he be? What is going on? Oh, like I want to give out the email address just so I could be like, "What are you thinking?" But I won't do that. I feel like he wouldn't be Oscar the Grouch.
That's the first one that popped into my head.
You don't think he'd be like,
but I don't
Big
think he
Bird?
would be.
Yeah.
I
think it's because we call him
I don't know
sometimes.
Would he be the Count?
Oh.
He does do like at least in my experience, he does the one a lot.
Then so. I would say the Count would be it for sure. For sure. Oh man, this is too funny. We're getting we have all these questions, and so far all of them have been for Murdock.
Yeah. But I mean, that's understandable, right? It's the salt and pepper.
That's right.
Mostly salt.
Mostly salt now. Let's see. Do you have another one? If not, I got one.
Yeah. So people really still use ymail.com? Is that Yahoo?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't see ymail anymore.
I don't either.
It's always like at yahoo.com, not at ymail. Sorry. Not to. Well, hey, so if you put this through and you're at ymail.com, because you're probably the one person in the world.
Yeah, you're going to get your question answered. Thanks for playing the game.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. So he said, hey, you guys talk a lot about wrestling, and I was curious of a few different things. I'll try to keep it short, though. So, Murdock, if you could design your own outfit and you could make it out of any material, what material would you pick?
Do they go down the line and ask us this too, or just Murdock?
That's where it ends. He said multiple questions, but it's the one question, and it's one question for Murdock.
Okay, I feel like, I mean, I know what Murdock's like wrestling gear is like, but I feel like...
But what material would it be made out of?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I know, like, his outfit now is... I was going to say spandex, but I don't think it's really that.
No, it's like...
it's like pleather-ish?
Yeah, kinda. I feel like he'd stick with that. I feel like he'd definitely stick with that. Same color scheme, too. Like the black and the white with, like, little bits of red, I feel. That's too funny. That's
denim,
funny.
Maybe? Black denim. He'd be like a biker.
Oh, that'd be cool. We're going to have to ask him that one because that's a good one. All right, let me open up this one here.
That's the last one I have.
This person still uses AOL. Did you ever have an AOL email address?
Oh, yeah. Who didn't?
I never
I mean,
did.
AIM. You didn't have, like, even AIM?
I had AIM, but I never used, like, the AOL email address. Did they give you an email address when you had AIM? I thought you could just sign up with anything.
Yeah. AIM is AOL Instant Messenger.
Yeah.
So I guess it's AOLIM. But
right, America Online Instant Messenger.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure. Or I guess you could technically get like at aim.com.
Oh. Yeah, I always
like the one email I wish I had was at live.com.
Oh,
back when that was a thing for Hotmail.
Yeah. I had Hotmail.
Because I thought that was the coolest.
I had Hotmail, I had Yahoo, and then Gmail. And then various places that I've worked. I've had mail.
Everybody has Gmail.
Yeah, everybody does. All right, let's
or
open
Ymail,
up this
apparently.
One. Let's open up this one.
It is Yahoo. It is Ymail.
Murdock! Exclamation point. I
Is
was
that
also
it?
no, that would have been great. Did he send all these because he knew that like we were doing the show alone?
Yeah, it was
Because
like
this one's like, okay, hold on. Murdock exclamation point. Not all caps, surprisingly. I was also hoping people would call me Godzilla. What's your favorite character in the Godzilla franchise other than the Zilla of Gods himself?
what would he pick?
Uh,
Mothra.
I was gonna say Mothra or just like Matthew Broderick from the movie. Oh man. Oh, okay. This one's got a subject that's different than just like question. This one says music question, so hopefully it's for us. Jesus Christ. This one is for Murdock. If you had to choose only one band to listen to for the rest of your life, who would it be? Who would Murdock
We
pick?
know the answer though.
Would it be
It'd be the Spice Girls.
totally? It would totally be the Spice
Yeah.
Girls. I was gonna say Creed, but I don't know because I feel like he sings a lot of Creed songs, and if
He does. He's on a Creed kick.
yeah, if he was told like you can only listen to one band the rest of your life, I feel like he would pick Creed, and he'd just be, accepting it with arms wide open.
Yeah.
Oh man,
He would.
he definitely would. All right, well that was fun. Fan questions. We love fan
It
questions.
was fun for him that he wasn't here.
Yeah, you guys can hit us up on DamnThatsYouTube and find our socials and send us some more well-rounded fan questions.
Yeah. Just go to DamnThats.com. You can click on request a topic. There's a little
Yep.
form right there. You just fill it out. So, I mean, it could be request a topic. It could be questions. It could be
Yeah.
hopefully not answers, but
Right.
or just statements. Hopefully
That's right.
not statements.
Oh man, that backfired on us, huh? Jesus.
It did. Well, we know who the popular one is. So this would be the least popular episode.
That's right. That's what we're going to call it. Episode 22. We should have waited till episode 23 so we could play off the Blink-182 song. Everybody hates you when you're 23. Or no one likes you when you're 23 is what it is.
Yep.
Oh man, we should have waited. Well, we
Speaking
can
of
always
nostalgia era, Blink's back.
Yeah,
New
that's
album
right.
dropped.
That's right. I haven't listened to it yet, have you?
Uh-huh.
You know-
Multiple times.
You know who else had a new album that came out actually this Friday was Taking Back Sunday. They had a new album come out.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Isn't
it's,
Green Day also like putting out a new album and new songs?
I feel like I heard that, yeah. But I'll have to listen to the Blink-182 one. I still haven't listened to the Taking Back Sunday one yet. I really haven't spent a lot of time listening to music, but definitely this week I will. What sucks is like I have such a short commute to work that like I can't really like I like to, but like when I listen to an album, I don't know if you're like this at all, but I like to listen to it all the way through like the first time. Like I don't want it like broken up where I'm hearing like half of a song. Like I have like an 8-minute drive to work, so I get like 2.5 songs probably. Like nowadays, people's songs seem to be shorter than they used to be, so it's like 2.5 songs and then that's it. I want to listen to the whole thing all the way through.
Yeah, and especially like if the artist cares about what they do. Like I really like songs that like it will slowly like they'll play and then it will hit the end and then it will immediately transition into like the next song, like
Right.
seamless almost. Like I enjoy that and I wish more bands did stuff like that.
Yes. I like when the album has like a flow to it. Like not a lot of people I feel like do that. Like you can just kind of listen to it on shuffle. Like there's some albums that if I listen to it on shuffle, I feel like it's completely, I mean, it is out of order, but it feels out of order, Like it just doesn't like there's it's interesting. There's one of my favorite rappers it's Joe Budden. He did like the pump it up.
Yep.
He came out with an album a few years back called All Love Lost, and like sometimes I'll just put like random like I'll pick a genre and just put it on shuffle, and if one of the songs from that album comes on, I have to like go to the beginning of the album and just listen to it all the way through. At the end of the year, it's always like one of my top albums that I've listened to because it's so good all the way through, and it's great. There's another guy too who he's got a few songs that like all tell a story, and you listen to them kind of throughout the album, and it does that, which is cool.
Yeah, I wish more people did that. But also, the Beatles are coming out with their final song.
Really?
Yep.
So
Which
like,
is really interesting.
yeah. How many of the is Paul McCartney the only one still alive?
And Ringo.
Oh, Ringo's still alive. Okay.
But I guess they had old tracks from a song they never released.
Oh.
And they had John and George's vocals pretty much done. So they used like a partial AI to make it sound more up to date.
Gotcha.
But like Ringo's recording the drums, Paul's doing the bass, they're adding their own vocals, so it's like the last Beatles song, and that's crazy.
Wild. I was gonna say that, like, what role does AI play in it? But like, I wonder if, like, that makes me wonder, like, is AI gonna play like a bigger part in the music industry now? Like, are we gonna start seeing AI songs with, like, I don't know. It's just so wild. AI is just
I mean,
crazy.
they've got to, right? Like at
Yeah.
some point, like
Yeah.
you're gonna have musicians and they're gonna have a bunch of files and they're gonna be able to have them sing anything. I mean, you see it now. Like I'll scroll through like TikTok and it will be like Toad singing Chandelier. And I'm
Right.
like, what is this?
Yeah, right?
But it sounds like Toad singing Chandelier.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. It's so funny. Like, technology is just so interesting, and it kind of makes you like not trust anything now. But I mean, the music industry, in a sense, is like wild anyway. So here's something funny. Like Taylor Swift, big topic of conversation lately.
Yeah.
She came out with like a re-release of like one of her albums, and I was like, I didn't understand why that she has like Taylor's version. I just thought she was re-releasing these albums to like get plays and make money or do whatever, or to have like not relevancy, because she is relevant, but like to kind of bring her back up to the top of the charts again with the same stuff. But I didn't know that she's re-recording all these songs so that she owns them, because all of her original ones got sold off and doesn't make any money off those. I had no idea that was a thing. And now it's like, wow, that's like, it makes me want to just like listen to it just to give her the plays. Not that my plays really matter against the Swifties, but it's an interesting concept, right? Like all of her music got sold. So now she's just like, I'm going to re-record it all. And I
think it got sold and then she bought the rights back.
Right.
And now she's re-recording them in the way that she wanted them to sound like, without like the record label saying this is what you have to do. Which honestly, like that's very admirable. Like
exactly, right. Yeah,
wouldn't consider myself like a Taylor Swift fan. I personally liked her country music when like the very first one of that, but like I think that's a brilliant thing, and she obviously knows what she's doing if she can sell out multiple tours and make millions.
Ridiculous ticket prices, and like just not even just the ticket prices, just the demand for tickets is just crazy for her. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean the prices was a scalper thing.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just the demand. Like everybody wanted to go, and sold out so fast.
Now it's in theaters, which is crazy.
Right. I saw that too. I was like, that's crazy.
And like people are going and they're like standing up for the entire thing, like they're actually at a concert.
I haven't heard that, but that's incredible though. That's amazing.
Which I guess like if that's what you're going there for, cool, go for it. But like if I was in a movie theater to watch a movie and a bunch of people stood up and started dancing, I'd be like, sit down.
Yeah. But things like that though are cool, like that they're putting that in movie theaters, because like movie theaters way back in the day had events like that, like closed circuit television. Like WrestleMania was a big thing. You'd go to the movie theater to like watch for like the first couple of WrestleManias. So it's interesting that they're doing like those kind of experiences again. Because I was talking with somebody and we were talking about how like movie theaters are like, I feel like are in danger, because you have movies like Five Nights at Freddy's, which I know isn't like a huge big blockbuster, but it's got a following. But you have it hitting theaters and Peacock the same day. And like my daughter wanted to see it, so I was like, hey, like, and this is like the first horror movie she's ever seen. So I said to her, I said, hey, I said, do you want to go to the movies to see this, or do you want to watch it at home? And she's like, I want to watch it at home. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, that's cool that you decided that. But like, I wonder how much that affected the theater business. You know what I mean? Like, how much did having it stream the same day affect them, and how much financially did it affect the people that made the movie?
I feel like you could go either way with that because like you can look at it like the people who produced and are putting out the movie, like they want it to be more widely accessible. So people could watch it from the comfort of their home for something they're already paying for. So if like you don't have the extra spending money to take like your family out to the movie theater, because obviously movie theaters cost quite a bit if you
Yeah.
buy popcorn, which you're gonna do. Or you could look at it as it was a cash grab and like, yeah, we'll let you show it the same day that the theaters do if you pay us some extra money.
Right, yeah, and actually, as you were saying that too, like giving it to like a wider audience, a couple things come to mind, right? So first off, you know, NBC and Peacock like had to have paid them probably a pretty good amount of money to get the rights for that. It wasn't like they
And
came to
exclusive
Peacock.
rights.
Yeah, it wasn't like they came to Peacock and said, "Please play our movie the same day it goes to theaters." But then you think about like the merchandising. Like, there's a ton of like toys and clothing and things like that that are in that universe, and books and things that are in that Five Nights at Freddy's universe. So having it there where like you turn on Peacock and it's the first thing that you see is that this movie is now available. Like, people may watch it that have never seen it before and then now are like, oh, okay, well now I'm going to go buy the games and now I'm going to, you know, check out the books, and like that you can capture more fans. So it probably was a smart business decision to do it that way. Because again, it wasn't like it was a big blockbuster that people are gonna like rush to the theaters to go see. But it's still, yeah, it's just interesting, you know. Because I remember me and my wife were talking about it. We're like, we felt like it was like a year before movies that hit the theater came out on DVD or VHS back in the day. I mean, I'm sure it
Oh
wasn't that
yeah.
long, but it felt like it, you know. And now it's like a month later it's on a streaming service.
Yeah. Or like, have you ever like walked into a store and you like see a movie on a shelf and you're like, wasn't that just in theaters
Yeah,
like
yeah,
3 days ago? Or like it will come out on DVD and then like some theaters are still running it. And it's like,
right. Well, we
what's
used to
the
have
point?
we used to have a theater near me that was, it was awesome. It was this old style theater. I think they still run, but you used to go for like, you'd pay $5 and you'd get the movie and a thing of popcorn, but it was always a movie that was like pretty much done, like, you know, done in theaters and was coming out on DVD or had already come out on DVD at that point. And that was even 12, 13 years ago. Because I saw The Wrestler. So whatever year that was there, that was the last movie I remember seeing there. But we saw Taken there, and we saw The Wrestler there. There's a few other movies that we saw there, but it was still it was a cool experience. It's such an old theater, like, that it was neat to be in. But that's kind of like the thing. Like, I feel like the ambiance of the theater is like what draws people there now. And like, there are some movies that I want to see on like a big screen, like Star Wars and
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like that. Like, I'll always go
Oh
see.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's like certain theaters. Like, there's a theater near me where you can like sit down and you can eat at the same time that you're watching a
Right.
movie. So
Yeah.
it's not like dark because you need to be able to see your food. But like, there are certain movies where I'm like, I'd rather see this in a normal movie theater in that atmosphere than something where it's not like feels like I'm more at home in a way. Because let's be honest, if I'm watching something at home, I'm probably eating.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, honestly, like, probably their smartest idea when it comes to if they did, like, cut a deal to have it out the same day, like, they probably should have done something along the lines of, like, yeah, like, pay us some money and give us, like, 5% of, like, the IP. So any
Right.
money that IP makes in the next, 5 years, give us 5% of that as well, because
Right.
you know that this, again, like you said, it's gonna be a gateway for some people and they're gonna make a ton of money and you should get a piece of that, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, I wish that those things were accessible to the public, because it interests me. Like, what deal? What deal is that? What does that deal look like? You know?
I think people would get upset about that
Oh, of
though.
course, of course. I know
People wanna
it's.
argue about everything.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah. But it's just interesting to me, the business of things. It's always fun to think about. So someday when we sell this podcast and they play it in theaters, we can make the right moves.
Yeah, we're getting 5% back for the next 5 years.
That's right. We get like 5.1% because we did one episode without Murdock. Whatever, like 1/22 of percentage would be.
And he can have 7 bacon.
That's right. He can have 7 bacon. Oh man, we didn't even pull that one out today. 6 degrees or 7 bacon. That's funny. Oh man. Well, yeah.
We've got to be close to it, huh?
I was about to say, it's probably about time to wrap up. This was a lot of fun. It's interesting because, like, out of the three of us, I think you and I talked the least, to be honest. Like, offline, and you and Murdock talk, and me and Murdock talk. So it's like, it's cool that we got to do this and got to hang out like this. So I appreciate that. And then we got to answer Murdock's fan mail, apparently.
Literally. Well, it was funny looking on Facebook that day I sent it to you. I was like, it's been 8 years? That's crazy.
Right? I know. It has. It's been wild. But man, yeah.
Yes, that was episode 22.
It was.
I almost forgot. And I literally had the whole bit about, I won't forget this.
I know it's 22. It's my favorite number. It's tattooed on me.
Yeah. What day is it?
Oh, man. Well, hey, I hope you guys are enjoying the show. DamnThats.com is where you can find all our socials. Like Kurt said earlier, you can request topics. You can hit us up through there. We'll have Murdock back here next week with us live in the studio or whatever we want to call this.
Live in the studio?
Yeah, in all 3 studios, I guess.
With a live studio audience?
With a live studio audience. We should somehow figure out a way to get a live studio audience. Hey, there they are. There they are. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. Again, I'm Owen Brody, and this is Kurt with us here. Murdock's not here, so send your fan mail to Murdock next time and not to us. That was so funny, though. Like, man, for real. I love it. I love it.
Get something other than Y mail.